Now, the last video, we ended with a whole lot of code that we didn't test very much of it. We did test a little bit when we tested it with the beacon, so we know that much works. But other than that, we don't know if any of it works. So we're going to need to build out our speed control, our dog speed controller, and get that code tested. So let's do that right now. So we've got the button A and the button B set up to send the start and the stop message. We've got our cat here to help us. And I want to do a radio message if we receive a string. Okay, so when we receive a string. So what types of strings can we receive? Well, when we look at our protocol, we're going to get these acknowledgments. We're going to get an error message and a speed message. But speed message will be a little bit different. We'll see that when we get to it. And so, we can receive these acknowledgement messages. So let's build in a little bit of logic. And let's see what we receive. So use the string because we're receiving a string. So if the string we receive is equal to the starting line, sending back an acknowledgement, we want to say the fact that the starting line is good. And we'll need a variable for that. And we're going to call it start beacon OK. So let's set the logic to true. And we'll need to initialize that. So let's set start beacon. It's going to start out as not good. And I think that we should move that over here to when we send that button, when we send the start message. Because each time we send the start message, we want it to be false so that we can receive them after we send the start message. So this is a better place to put those. Let's go ahead and set that to false. Let's duplicate this. And starting line, finish line. We'll need another variable. I'm going to set that to be true. And of course, we need to start out with it being false. Next, we've also got the dog timer, which could be good. So let's create a new variable. Dog timer, okay. And we're going to set the dog timer to be good, as well as starting it out as being not good. Okay, so that part's finished. Whenever we receive a string, it's going to be an acknowledgement. Well, it could be one of the other things, but the idea is that when we receive one of these, we're going to remember that it's okay. And then we're going to ask the question, if, and we're going to want these to be ANDed together. So let's grab that. It's going to be 3 of them. So we want to know, is the start beacon okay? And remember, these are going to be Boolean, so we can just put the variable name straight in to our logical expression. And we want to have the finish beacon okay. And we want the dog timer to be okay. If those 3 things are good, then we know we're good. And we're going to show the check mark. So when we push the start button, we're going to receive back 3 messages. And when we receive the 3rd one, and they're all true, we'll show the check mark. Now there's one other message that we can get that we need to account for, and that is the error message. Remember, if something goes wrong, we're going to send an error message. And in that case, since the only microbit that could send that is the dog timer, because the dog timer is going to check, if you remember from last video, dog timer is going to check our data to make sure it looks good. If its data doesn't look good, it's going to send an error. So if that happens, we want to say that the dog timer is not okay. And that will change our check mark to an X to show the error. That's how that's going to work. One other thing that I'd like to have is on the logo. When the logo is touched, I want to show the speed again. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do that yet. But I know that I'm going to want to do that somehow. Okay. So how do we get the speed? Well, we sent it as a name and value pair, with the name being speed message, speed. So if we receive a message and it's going to be a string, and that message happens to be speed message, then we know the value is the dog speed in miles per hour. So let's create a variable. Hold that. Now I'm calling this dog speed, but you could use it to measure your brothers and sisters, your parents, anybody whose speed you want to measure. You could try it on a cat, but they tend to just sit around all day. They don't really run back and forth on command. So I know you disagree, but it's true. And that's what the value is going to be. So let's show it. And I'm going to want to use text. I'm going to want to join. Dog speed, miles per hour with miles per hour so that we know how fast it's gone. And when we're done, we're going to show the happy face, show that we're still happy. And because I want to be able to show this when I push the logo button, I'm going to add this over here as well. And as I believe that should be everything I need. What do you think? You think that's enough? All right, should we try it? What do you think? Yeah? All right, let's try it. All right, if you behave, I will measure how fast you can run, but I don't think you're going to behave. That's just the way these things go. All right, so here we go. And this is the controller. So let's download that. All right. Grab the timer. This is the timer. And that goes here. We haven't tested this code very much, so it's entirely possible there's going to be a bug. All right, we're good with that. And now we need to find dog speed beacon. And we've got two of those. Here's the first one. Hi. I hear ya. All right. Second one. Okay. Now we're going to try it out. Okay, so here's one of our start beacons. And it says start. Here's the other beacon. It says start, but we can make that finish instead. Here's our timer. We're using a power bit to power it because this is going to be with our dog. So I want it to be relatively small. Turn that on. Happy face means it's good. Here's our controller. Did I not program it to have something at the beginning? Let's try and see. So I'm going to push the A button, which is our start. So it's sending messages out to the other microbits. And it says X. So somebody did not broadcast back. Let's try running it again. Somebody did not broadcast back that they're doing okay. But as you can see, we are receiving messages. So let's just try it. So what's going to happen is our timer bit is going to move past the first beacon, hopefully get the start timing, and then it's going to move back past our second beacon, hopefully get the stop timing, and then when we push the B button, it'll tell us how fast it was, miles per hour. So let's push this again. 0.41 miles per hour. So about half a mile per hour. And that may actually be correct, but I do want to figure out why we're not getting our check mark when we push the A. Okay, so I think we've done enough in this video. Let's go to the next video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we figure out what went wrong.